Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Anna, and I'm doing things a little different today. We're going to do something a little different. I have a project that I want to do, and my goal, I don't know if I'll be able to get it done, but my goal is to change this dollhouse, which I already started working on a long time ago. Then I stopped stripping her down, that I found at a thrift store, and I'll give you the details behind that. But I had a few of you ask me, when exactly did I start getting into Dollhouse Miniatures? Some people don't understand it. They're like, why does a grown person want to play with Dollhouse Miniatures? I'm not playing Barbies. I'm not doing any of that. This is a 1/12 scale Dollhouse miniature hobby. It's not meant for children. It's meant for adults. I mean, of course, children can do it, but there are some very, very expensive homes, kits that could take you 6 months to a few years to put together that may cost and run up to $1,500 for you to put together on your own time. Some houses will sell anywhere between the low 100s to thousands of dollars, depending upon how large, custom, what type of home is the kit no longer available. Some of the furniture can be held very, very economically, but it's cheap. And I have some of that, and I have a few nicer pieces. And you can go all the way from, say, $5 a piece to hundreds and even thousands a piece. Depends if it's made by a artisan, and they're magnificent. I have several dollhouses, and I have my farmhouse, which is my original one, sitting up here in my room, which I have shared with you before. And if you go into my playlist, you will see my dollhouse and just a little bit of what I was able to share, including, I think, the Raggedy Ann room scene that I had put together. And I took it back apart because I had to move her upstairs, and she is 6, 7, 8 rooms, and she's 3 levels. And I have a few other dollhouses in the basement waiting for some much needed attention. I started my hobby when I was 16 years old. I saw a dollhouse, and I think it was called Frank's Nursery. Do you guys remember Frank's Nursery? And, you know, they sold plants, they had crafts, they had practically everything in there except for food. And they had dollhouses that their people would put together, and they sold the kits. Well, they were discontinuing them. And I remember I saw the farmhouse, and it wasn't painted. It's still not painted to this very day. It's something that I cherish, just the way that she looks. She's been through a lot with me between all the moves and everything else. And my houses have suffered being from storage room to storage room to storage room, from house to house to house, from flooding, from different basements, because we are renters. And I've lost a lot of dollhouse miniature collection that I had in some houses. They just had been thrown away. And but I started when I was 16, and ever since then I've been hooked. I went and I just devoured the internet trying to look for information. I found eBay. I found clubs, area clubs, that you would have to sign up with the main club and have a $30 due. And I did all that. And I had dollhouse clubs that I went to that would meet up once a month or twice a month, and we would go for outings, and we would go to the shows, and we would do all kinds of things. We would do, when you do workshops, 1 or 2 day workshops, putting something together, creating from nothing to something. It was just, it was such a wonderful time to be able to do all that. And I started buying pieces from eBay, and some of them were out of scale. I didn't know what I was doing. I was getting frustrated. Some of them were just straight up junk. I thought it was something else, and it wasn't. So it was definitely a learning phase, and it's still a learning phase. It's a constant learning phase, especially when you're doing things on a very tight budget, because, you know, you have a family. So now you're trying to figure out how to find, how to make treasure from junk, from your throwaways. I don't have that kind of spending money that I used to have back in the day before I met my husband. I was a single mom, and I struggled for a very long time, and then I got in a better position where I had some additional income, and I was, working full time as a federal employee. I was rocking my Avon business. I was in President's Club. I was doing really good. So I had my little extra change in my pocket so I could pursue my hobby. And that's what really fulfilled me at that time. It just gave me so much pleasure, and it was therapeutic. Working on miniatures on a house, changing it, the different pieces, changing it from season to season, from holidays. You could do whatever you want. You could do eras. You can just do one whole house just in Christmas. And then it's something that you just work on year from year. You could do one house just for Easter. You can have a Victorian house. You can have an Egyptian tomb. You can have a garden outside. You can have whatever your mind wants. There is no limit. It could be an outside playground. I mean, there's no limits to what you can create. And that's the wonderful thing about the 1/12 scale dollhouse miniature hobby. Now, in the groups that I used to be in, they were wonderful ladies, and they all worked in different scales. And as they got older, they would work in smaller scales because, these houses take up a lot of space. They do. They take up a lot of space. So some of them would just start working on the smaller and smaller and smaller scale. And I was just never interested in the real small scales. I like the 1/12 scale Dollhouse Miniatures. Sorry, you guys. Little Dee Dee started crying downstairs. My daughter's downstairs, my husband's upstairs, and I'm in between both of them, but I'm always constantly listening. But back to my story. So, yeah, I really enjoy Dollhouse Miniatures, and it really means something when you can connect with people that have the same kind of interest and passion, and you're able to find different people that have different strengths, and then they'll tell you to do this or not to do that. And I've met a lot of artisans that go to the shows, and they're just incredible people, from men to women. And they have institutions where you can go and create your pieces. It's just amazing. If you look into it and if you like it, it's something that is a lifelong passion of mine ever since I was 16, and I'm 46 now. And I've never stopped. The only thing that's ever happened with me was with each child, because I have 5 children, as you guys know. And if you didn't know, I have 5 children ranging from ages, the twins 3 to 27. And there's just going to be 24, so Giovanni's 27, and then little Frank that's 7. So with each one, it got hard to do things, and you just put it away, you put it on the back burner. Years go by, you tinkle with it a little bit, it gets a little in the way. Your kids start messing with your stuff, just like the twins were and little Frankie. They start breaking everything. I mean, I've lost so much stuff just from them breaking it and them being curious. And at 46, even though I have 3-year-old twins, wait a second. So like I was saying, at age 46, I know little Frankie came into the room, I had to make a conscious decision. I'm not getting any younger. What am I waiting for? I have to try to make this happen for myself, because I get so much joy and pleasure. And it's very therapeutic for me working on my miniatures. And even though it may not be something that's 100% professional, it has this little, little problems here and there. It makes me happy because I know I did it. I created it. And you're not going to see anything else out there like mine, because I made it personally. Now, mind you, I have a lot of Dollhouse Miniatures. And I will be sharing those with you throughout the year, and as time goes, as I pull things out and I start filling up my houses, you will see them displayed. And I was involved in swap groups on Yahoo. I was involved in all kinds of stuff. And but I stopped all that because it was just too much for me. It was too much for me, and I couldn't do it anymore. It was just too much with the kids working full time. You know, I haven't been a stay-at-home mom all my life. I worked, you know, I've been working since I was 16 years old, and then I became a stay-at-home mom 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I became a stay-at-home mom, and I worked in the federal government for over 22 years. So I just feel like I need something, and this is my thing. So that's my story. I know I could go into a lot more, but there's lots of resources out there, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I'm doing to work on this project right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is the house that I'm going to be working on. I bought her from a thrift store, and she was like $4.99 or something like that. I started stripping all these things off because they were all crooked and messed up. Then I started stripping off the things in the inside. As you could tell, a small child had gotten in here and had a lot of fun. Oh, this is the Buttercup. See, I know my kids. This is one of the more inexpensive kits that you can buy. It's called the Buttercup kit. This is the Buttercup Cottage. And it has like the 4 rooms, and you can pretty much make them whatever you want. You can even make this a store. You could do whatever you want with this. And as you can tell, it doesn't have any of the windows. The front door is missing. It's been painted in the inside. There's no flooring. The wallpaper is a hot mess. These are the sides. That's the top part of the roof and the shingles that were coming off. And this is the side, obviously. And then this is the front half of it. As you can tell, I had tried to take all these off because they were all crooked and messed up. I even tried sanding them. I mean, hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of work trying just to get it down to the base, and including all this. And as you could tell, all those I had to take off, sand down. And this is what I'm going to be working with. I was looking at it and I was like, this is going to lend itself beautifully to a haunted house. Haunted houses do not have to be perfect. They can look like this. I don't have to do a whole lot of distressing. She's already a hot mess. So my idea was to see if I can work on her weekly, at least once or maybe twice weekly, and see if I could do a video showing the progression of what I'm doing. If I may show you what I'm working on inside of her, I may not. I may just do it and then show you what it looks like. But at least you'll have this video that you can work off of, and you could see the state that it was in. Let me see that there. You can see the state that is in, which is not very good at all. And yeah, this is what I'm going to be working on, okay? So I'm excited to be doing that and sharing that with you. I may or may not have it completed by the end of October. It just depends on what life hands me and what's going on here at home. And what I like to do, though, is I do like to go online. There's a lot of resources online with free tutorials, free printables, all kinds of stuff out there that you can study and get clues from of things to do or which direction you might want to go. And this fell. This has some of my scissors here. So what I did today, gave myself like 15 minutes to try to find some, where did I put my bag? Oh my goodness, did my voice move my bag? No, here it is. I had tried to gather up a few things inside this bag, and of what I could maybe try to reference. So I'm going to show you what I have. Things that I could try to look at, reference, study, give myself some ideas in what direction I may or may not want to go. And I found these paper stacks that I may or may not want to use. So let's start off with my magazines. I have a collection of vintage magazines that I got over the past 25, 30 years of my life from eBay, and also from me purchasing them and being on a subscription. So let me show you what I'm going to be studying. This one was back from 2004. And this is a miniature, American Miniatures magazine back from 2004 October. I was trying to find all my October ones that I have, and I know I didn't look at all of them, just the ones that I could access behind me. And this one does have some Halloween items in here. So I figured maybe I can study. Look at that. And this, what's this? Costumes for kids that want to sparkle. Oh, and look, it even has the thing where you can cut it out and make some costumes, which is awesome because these things can run a lot of money if you try to buy them to make them yourself. But these even had printables right here that I could literally just rip out and put together and use. And I know I have some other ones, some little ideas. It depends on which direction I want to go. If I want to be more cutesy, if I want to make a wizard. It just gives you really cool ideas of different things that you can do. And it's always helpful to study, read. And this is going to be a lot of fun for me to read through my magazines. I haven't read through this in a very long time. And it's refreshing to go through it. Look at that. Possible things for me to make. And I just love it. Witch's spell gone wrong. That's a witch's spell gone wrong. That's pretty cool. Now, I don't work much with clay or anything like that. That's just not my thing. Oh, look, it shows you how to make a ghost. I've always wanted to learn how to make a ghost. This is showing how to make a ghost. Perfect. See, I wanted to learn that. And it shows you the different techniques. And I just love this kind of stuff. Okay, and then this one was from October 2007. And that's an American Miniatures magazine. And obviously, this one's more of a cutesy theme. I call it cutesy. And I have some of these actually. I bought some of those. I have these. Those little scary pumpkins. I have those. I think they sold them at Michael's. And I have some. I know I do for a fact. Because when I bought them, little Frankie was like, ew, mommy. He was young. He was young. That was like 2 years ago. He was like 5. So this is showing how to do different things, different cutesy projects. Oh, this is nice. Doing it in the pumpkin. You know how they have all the pumpkins for sale right now at Michael's, at AC Moore, Hobby Lobby. You can make a scene right inside of a pumpkin. You don't have to have a house. You can make a scene using a pumpkin. You can make a scene using a box. You can make a scene using a bag that's a Halloween bag, and you just cut the hole in it. Put the not post-it board, foam core board. That's $1. You cut it to fit the bottom, and it'll help make it stand up. And then do 2 for the sides, the length of the craft of the bag. And then you do your scene in the inside. I mean, you could do so much, you guys. Honestly, you could do so much. I'm just trying to give you ideas for those of you that are into Dollhouse Miniatures. And let me go to the next magazine. I only have 3 more. This is a miniature collector one back from January 2000. January 2000. And this is a January issue. It's not a Halloween issue, but the reason why I pulled it out so I could research it is because of this house. Do you see how it's so distressed? I wanted to see if I could learn any of these techniques or use any of these things that they're showing here for my house. I wanted to see if I could do that. Let me see if I can find an actual article here. They have some really awesome stuff in here, you guys. Really cool stuff. Where's the actual article? Here we go. So maybe it's just a picture of it. Yeah, it's just a picture. See page 54 for more information on artisans' creations. So this is by Steve Hilbert. I might be able to look it up, and there might be some more photographs online. So that's by Steve Hilbert. So that's what I might do, is I might go online and see if they have some additional photos of this on the inside, because that's just amazing. Okay. The next one is the Miniature Gazette. Now, this one you have to be a part of NAME. N-A-M-E. And that's, I believe it's called National Association Miniature Enthusiast. That's what it stands for. And I was a member to NAME, and that's how you were able to find clubs, because you had to be a member, and you were able to find clubs. And with NAME, you get your magazine. You also get some additional perks from different websites and what have you for Dollhouse Miniatures. And it's just an interesting way to make connections with Dollhouse Miniature Enthusiasts. So this is one of their old magazines from back in the day, because I haven't been a part of NAME in a very long time. And I might have to go back to it. I might have to look into it, see if there's even any groups within my area. And if there are, and see if they're open, because sometimes there's groups that they're not open though. They're closed until somebody, gets out of it. But some of them are open for members. This is back from October 2006. And then look, it's just very interesting. And then let me see the inside. Let's see if they had anything. Okay, here we go. They have some really good rooms in here. Things to give you ideas. Okay. And look at that witch. I know, she came to the door. That would scare the bejesus out of me. So that's it for that one. And then the last magazine, this is Miniature Collector. I don't have any Dollhouse World or Dollhouse, it's called Doll's House World or Doll's House Miniature Project, something like that. I have a few of their magazines, but nothing for Halloween. Now, the only reason why I picked this one, this is November, December, 1997. 1997, that's how old this one is. Miniature Collector, back from 1997. So it should be like 20 years old. This is a 20-year-old magazine. And I picked that one because look at that. I like the fact that they had the hanging dried herbs, the baskets, and it's just, even though this is like an outdoor type of garden scene, I could take a few cues from it. I'm trying to see if they have a picture in here. They have some really cool stuff in this magazine. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Somebody hand painted that. I hope you can see that. Look at that. That's amazing. Wait a minute, Frankie. I'm doing the video, okay? Give me a minute, sweetheart. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay, wait a minute, sweetheart. I'm doing the video right now. I'm trying to share some stuff. This one is chock full of stuff that I like, and I really enjoyed reading. I really enjoyed reading this little Miss Hitty's Journals story by Douglas Strickland Bittler. I loved reading these. I have to go back online and see if they have them like for the public. It's just so cute. It's so cute. It's like a journal. It's like a journal of somebody back in the day. So I hope I'm not boring you. I know it's 24 minutes already. I'm going to wrap it up. I saw this paper pad while I was looking for the magazines, and I said, this might work well. This is the Tattered Time DCWV. This may or may not, well, I love this. This lends itself well to mixed media, and I've used this on mixed media projects. But because of the old styling and the way that it is, this might lend itself well to maybe one or two of the sheets in there might work. Not those. There's one in there. I hope I didn't use it already. Which one is it? Is it that one? That one might lend itself well. There's like 1 or 2 sheets in there that I was interested in. Let me see if I can find it. And this is like a thicker, glossier type. Yeah, I like that one. That one might lend itself well. And it's like glossy, and it actually is, it comes off the paper a little bit. And then the last one of the paper stacks that I thought might work well, including this. This was from, this is very old. I got this like maybe last year or the year before from Tuesday Morning. My Tuesday Morning closed about 1.5 years ago. I miss Tuesday Morning. I miss all the deals. And oh my God, I miss Tuesday Morning so much. I miss Tuesday Morning so much. But this is just an amazing gold. And it actually sticks up. It's like 3D and it's very thick. So I may be able to use that and add some black, gray. And then I also found this one, this DCWV. Hi, Baba, I love you.
That's TV.
Yeah, it's a TV. DCWV Dark Romance stack, and I got that for $11.99. I don't even know where. This is old, but I figured that might lend itself well. There's some sheets in there like that might lend itself well. Look at that one. For the project. So I'm going to keep these out, and I'm going to do a little research and see. That one's kind of cool too. That one's kind of cool. That's very cool looking, since it's like that really deep red, and look, it even has skeletons. Do you see that? It even has skeletons on there. See that? That is cool. And oh, let me show you the rest. This is a really nice paper stack. I should go online and see if I can find another one just in case. This is the only one I have of this. That paper might work out well too. And this. Wow, this is like a really nice paper stack. I never realized how nice this was. Wow. And this one actually has gold. There's like a purple and gold. You guys see that? And it actually like comes off the paper as well. If you see this in person, it looks amazing. I know this is not doing this any justice. I'm going to have to go online and look about this stack and see if I can find another one. And then, of course, I saw the purple ribbon, so I took that one out and just, you know, put it in my bag. But that is what my plans are. So I hope you enjoyed my story, a little bit of my story of how I started in Dollhouse Miniatures. And I didn't even tell you about the struggle of me trying to get the farmhouse home, because I had a small car. What car was I driving back then? I had a Tercel. I had a Toyota Tercel 2-door. And I remember, yeah, it was a Toyota Tercel 2-door, and the farmhouse wouldn't fit into it. I was like in tears outside. And then I had to call a friend to come and help. And I knew they had a bigger car, and they came and they met me up there a couple of hours later, and they brought it home for me. And I was just so upset because I wanted her home, and I had used up the little bit of money that I had saved up. And yeah, so that was within itself, trying to get her home was a whole ordeal, but it was well worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you look forward to seeing what I come up with this house. I don't know. I don't know which direction I'm going to go in. So I'm going to find this to be very interesting as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And hopefully I'll get to talk to you tomorrow. Bye.